All right, first bit of news is out of Wisconsin, USA. Waitress fired after refusing to serve transphobic customers. So the actual story that this lady, Brittany Spencer, put out on Twitter was that she was working at a place called Fat Joe's Bar and Grill in Wisconsin on Saturday night when she overheard two of her customers at a table she was serving making transphobic comments about another customer. So she goes up to the table, right, to start taking their order and whatnot, but they brought her into the conversation and said, don't you find that person over there to be disgusting? And Brittany says, no, I don't. And a matter of fact, she turned around, walks over to her boss and says, can you have somebody else serve this table? I don't want to serve a whole bunch of homophobes. So, or transphobes. So her boss said, actually, you have two choices here. You can serve your customers or you can leave. And so she chose to leave. And by doing so, she was fired. And of course, everyone's really upset that she got fired for refusing to serve the transphobic couple at her table. The issue is that it's reported that these people were harassing the other customers, but that's not the story that Brittany Spencer told on Twitter. So I don't know. What do you think, Armin? What do you think? And Shubham, what do you think about this?
I don't know. I think, okay, she has every right not to serve them, right? Obviously. But that's not the question. The question is if the business also has the right to fire her. Like, if she has the right not to serve them if she doesn't like. But here's the thing. If she was transgender herself and she got fired for that, that might be being transgender, that's a protected class in many... Okay, so we have to think about this morally and legally, all right? Morally and legally. Legally, I think the business had every right to fire her. Morally, I think it was a really bad move. What do you think?
Well, I think that we equate this to a few different things. So, like, if a Muslim is working at a grocery store and refuses to do their job and checks somebody out because they have pork and wine, right? So they're not going to serve that customer. If they can't do their job, then they have to leave. That's the way I've always seen it. So in this case, I really appreciate her. That's the thing, is I really actually appreciate her for leaving, because she stood up for what she believed in. But did they have, were they correct in firing her if she wasn't doing her job? Then yes. But here's the deal, right? Is those two customers, according to everything I've seen, her Twitter online and the comments from her boss as well, said the customers were just talking amongst themselves. Okay, it's not like, according to their report, that they were talking to the person that they found disgusting and calling them names or anything like that and causing a scene. Had the customers done that, in my opinion, then the customers should have been asked to leave, because they're the ones that are disturbing the peace, right?
But even if they're just talking to themselves, even if they weren't causing a disturbance, as an employee, you have the right to be like, I don't want to serve these people, but you have to understand the consequences for holding your moral position might be that you lose your job, okay? And you are deciding that that is more important to you than keeping your job, and that is a reasonable position to take. In fact, it's a moral position to take. There's no you must do your job. No, maybe you don't want to do your job if your job requires you to serve people that you don't like, while understanding that holding this position might make you lose your job. Okay, and legally, the business has every right to fire you over that. But just because they have the right to do that doesn't mean that they needed to do that. They could have been like, as a business, you could have been like, well, you have to do your job. This is your job, so you're not doing your job. Then you're fired. But also, as a business owner, they could have also held the position to, no, we're going to support our employee over this. And we also don't like serving transphobes. And they could have done, like, both of those positions are legally, any of those positions were legally okay for the business owner, right?
Sure.
The business owner could have also been like, yeah, actually, we support our employee. We don't want to serve transphobes here. And that's because transphobes are not protected minority, right? So not serving them is completely legally fine. So they could have done that. So just because they're legally in the clear, that doesn't mean that they're morally in the clear. In fact, I think the business owners made a morally bad decision. I think it would have been,
This is what the co-owner said about this, and quote, "The comments were made in a private conversation and we're not harming anybody else. We don't take a stand on any conversation people have. We're not going to impose anyone's political beliefs, moral beliefs, ideals on any single person. We're just here to serve food and drinks."
Really? So I don't know if you had some people coming up with KKK costumes, or with would you be able to be like, hey, if a business?
I think that goes beyond a private conversation, though. That's the thing that again everyone's seeing.
Sure,
it's upsetting everyone else, and that's what I was saying. If these customers were calling out another customer, if they were disturbing the peace, certainly I think anyone would agree that those customers would have been the ones who needed to be issued out. But the co-owner is saying that this was a private conversation.
Right. It's a private conversation, but they could have also been like, okay, that's our position as employers, but if one of our employees is uncomfortable, we could have just asked somebody else to serve them. They could have easily done that. Right?
Could have.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think they didn't need
to... Here's my issue with this. They're saying it was a private conversation, but they brought the employee, the waiter, into their conversation. So was it really private anymore?
Allegedly.
I don't think it was private anymore when they brought the waitress into their conversation, asking her if she thought they were disgusting or not. It ceased to be a private conversation.
Right. I mean, even if it's a private conversation, I think the employer could have easily been like, you could. You're in the right to be like, hey, we don't want to get involved in people's opinions. That's not our position as a business. But it would have been equally okay for a business to say, yeah, we don't serve bigots here. I think that's fine. Or
I think that'd be great. I think it would have been great had they taken that
stance. Or they could say that we do serve bigots, but if one of our employees is uncomfortable with serving bigots, we'll support them. That's another position that they could have taken.
Right. And mind you, I'm over here. Like I said in the beginning, I agree with her and what she did, and I don't just agree, I applaud her. Thank you. Thank you, Brittany Spencer, for doing what you did. I think you're a hero. Okay? But my problem is I don't want to be a hypocrite. All right? I don't want to sit here and say, absolutely, this company should have done this because it's something I believe, right? What if I'm having a conversation with a friend at a restaurant, a private conversation, about atheism? Right? And my waitress, I ask her a question and she says, I don't want to serve atheists. And the company comes up to me and says, you know, we're a Christian organization. Get out. Right? I mean, that's what we're asking here. And that's what this company is saying they specifically don't do. Right. If you're a bigot and you're having a private conversation, then whatever, we're here to serve food and drinks. That's their prerogative. It's up to, as we've said in many times in the past, it's up to society, the community, the people who go there to say, hey, you know what? I don't like transphobes. I don't like homophobes. I don't like these, and stop going there.
Right. Unless, okay, by the way, actually, you're right. This could be a double-edged sword. So Stephen actually pointing at that's one of the top comments. He's saying, well, it goes both ways, I suppose. Not the trans people, but refusing to serve people. Whether or not you agree with her, if you support her decision to not serve someone based on their beliefs, then you should also support people that refuse to serve people whose beliefs you support. Okay, that's got a little bit confusing, but I think what Stephen is saying is that if we support this, what if tomorrow a Christian restaurant decides that they don't want to serve atheists? Would we support that?
I think we have to be careful. Just because we like it, doesn't mean that the company did wrong. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, I guess we have to be consistent.
Right.
The only difference is that we might agree that atheists should maybe be a protected class. I don't know, because we're so attacked. But I don't know, because atheism is based on your decision. You're deciding to be an atheist, so maybe it shouldn't be a protected class. Like maybe we should, as atheists, maybe we should be protecting the rights of a Christian organization to say we don't serve Christians here, we don't serve atheists here, because that's not something that is genetically we're born with, right? That's something that we have decided. It's based on our views, right? So if we saying, you know, I don't think it's okay to say we don't serve trans people here, we don't serve gay people here, we don't serve black people here. I don't think any of that is okay. But if we agree that it's okay to say we don't serve transphobes here, because being a transphobe is something you decide, then are we also agreeing that it's okay to say we don't serve Muslims here, we don't serve Christians here, or we don't serve atheists here? Are we opening that door, or are we going to be consistent and support all of those positions as well? Do you guys would you guys support that?
No, and that's the point I was making here, is that we have to look at that in this way. This company tries to simplify this and say we're not here to worry about what people are saying and talking about at their tables when it comes to anything political, religious, whatever it is. We're here to serve food and drinks, and if they want to be those people, that's fine. That is their purpose as a company. That is their purpose. I think that it would have been wonderful had they thrown those people out, or at least asked someone else to serve the table who was comfortable serving those people. I think that would have been great. But on the alternative here is, we do have to look at other people as well. We do have to put ourselves, in this objectively, not just because we agree with this.
Yuval is agreeing with you. I think is having a similar position with you, because I think maybe it might be too much to ask for, that might be too much if we say every restaurant should be able to serve people that they disagree with. I mean, I don't know, maybe we should allow them but not encourage it. I think legally we should allow it, but morally we should discourage it. I think that's going to be my position right now. And also Yuval is saying, Ali is right, the owners could simply swap waitresses between tables without firing anyone. So I think based on our conversation, this is my position now. Legally, you should be allowed not to serve anybody. Both the waitresses and the company should be allowed not to serve people based on their opinions, but not based on anything biological. But morally, I think they shouldn't. The company itself shouldn't withhold service to anybody based on opinion, and if any of their employees wants to withhold service to anybody, they should be able to just swap waitresses without firing the waitress. I think that would be the morally best position to have, but I don't want to enforce that legally in any way, because that would be too much government intervention. Do you think that's a good position based on everything? Yeah? Yeah, okay, good.
Atheists are under attack in many places. If they were Christians, their voices would be heard. If they were Jews, their voices would be heard. If they were Muslims, their voices would be heard. But they are atheists, and not many seem to be listening. Let's make it difficult for them to ignore us. We have built a global community, and now we are tearing down geographic, cultural, and language barriers so we can find each other and support each other. In the last decade, we have built the largest atheist community in the world. Now we're doing the same in other languages. With your help, we have started Atheist Republic in Persian and Arabic.
انضميت مؤخرا لأسرة Atheist Republic وحيصير عندي بودكاست باللغة العربية.
As we grow, we can dedicate more time, staff, and resources to start doing the same in Spanish, Portuguese, Malay, Bengali, Urdu, Hindi, and other languages. We are providing community, support, informative content, and amplifying the voices of those who need protection, especially in countries where people feel isolated simply for their lack of belief. We want to be there for them, and we are only getting started. Help us get there. Check in the description for ways you can support our projects.